Right, let me show you how I created this fantasy scene in Blender, actually, how I surrounded this old monument with a lot of trees, bushes, flowers, moss, and so on and so forth. Basically, how I created this vegetation around the monument. I will not recreate this monument and stairs and these stone blocks from the scratch, because this is really simple and easy process of extracting things from a cube. But if you want, you can get this Blender file already textured on my Patreon. The link is down there in the description. Recently, a Sweeper 3D released an amazing brand new nature add-on for Blender. It's called Arborea, and this add-on really quickly became my favorite go-to tool to create nature environments in Blender. Before that, I used Botanic with Geoscatter, but Arborea is, for me at least, on another level. Everything is included in one add-on, and it's really easy to use and intuitive. All right, let's start making our forest around this monument. So first, what I like to do is to split the screen into two sections. Press N to hide this, and press 0 to load my camera. By the way, I already placed the camera here with this angle, whatever I needed, and the focal length is 28mm, so this is how I like this. Also, I already added some light, the sunlight, and if I go here to render view, right, you will see the sun is already shining there, so we can rotate the sun however we want, however we think is good for this scene, but I found this position really nice. Okay, so we have some issue here, and that's our shadows are really dark and we don't want that. So for that I will use HDRI map. So I will go here to the environment, color, and environment texture. And I will load my HDRI that I got from polyheaven.com. So these are all for polyheaven.com. And I like this Mud Road Pure Sky. So this is an overcast sky. I will open it, you will see, and automatically the shadows are brighter. So I will make it even brighter, something like that. The forest will also add some shadows back to the scene. So I like, for this scene, the strength to be around 5. For this scene, every scene is different, so this is the combination that I like to use, the the sun with overcast sky, and this is good. All right, now let's start building our forest. So I will go to the top view, and I will go cursor toward origin, Shift A, and add a plane. Make the plane bigger, something like that, maybe like that, and apply the scale. Move the plane somewhere in the back. By the way, you can see when I put a plane here, you can see how brighter the monument and everything becomes. It opened the shadows even more because of this reflects the light back to the scene. So we can either hide this totally or make this darker. So I will go with shader editor here, and I like to go with black. So all the way black, no problem. Everything is solved. So let's go with this back here, and this will be our forest. I will make it even bigger. I will scatter some forest here. So again, apply the scale. So to do that, we need to either choose the emitter here and select this as an emitter. So that means that our forest will be scattered on this. Or if you don't do that, for the first time, we can just go here, select the tree that we want to use. For example, let's go with this one, and just scatter asset, and it will ask us to use the selection, in this case a plane as an emitter. I will say okay, and voila, we have a forest. Amazing, really quickly, really easily, we have some cool forest that we can go inside and lost somewhere in the forest. By the way, now I will show you some cool options, how easy you can manipulate the forest and everything. So here, I will skip some options here for now, but also I will not show you all the options that the Arborea has, because the Sweeper has an amazing video showing everything in depth what you can do with this add-on. So check it out. Okay, so now we have here some options. We can hide this, hide in render, hide in viewport. We can show everything as bound. So this is really helpful. You have tons of assets here scattered, and your viewport is getting really slow, and this will crash your Blender eventually. So you want to check this. And also this doesn't work at all. Why? Well, because I didn't know also why this doesn't work. So I asked Sweeper, and he immediately responded with a quick solution. And this is because I didn't subdivide the plane. So let's go to the edit mode and subdivide this by, for example, 20 times. Okay, this is good. And now can see how this works. This is practically a mask, a cube that acts as a mask, and you can move it and only show your assets where this cube is. Also, you can make the cube bigger, make it smaller, do whatever you want. So this is also, again, another helper tool to basically, how to say, to relieve your workspace here from too many polygons. So you will only have this, but still this will not affect render. If I go and render the image, render will be like it's everything there. But this is really handy tool to preview certain segments of your scene and still have a really fast and responsive viewport. All right, I will not use that right now. Also, we have the distribution here. We have multi-emitter in case you have another plane or whatever you want, but I will use plane, and let's use smaller one. And I want to scatter exactly the same forest or whatever I have here to this plane. So go to multi-emitter, add, select it as an emitter, and we have two forests. Beautiful. I will undo that because I don't need it. Let's delete it. Okay. So now let's go back to this this forest here, and what we can do, we can lower the density. This is too dense. I don't want so many trees here. I just want to add something in the back, and this is perfectly okay. Also, before I do that, I want to show you here the last one, the instances. We have the culling option, so we have camera culling. Select our camera right here, this one, and if I turn on the camera culling, you can see, maybe if I make this bigger, it will be even more obvious. Move it here. You can see that this is only shown what in the places what is in the camera viewport. So this is what camera sees, all right, and the assets are only spawned there. So this is another tool that help us to not show the assets and not spawn the assets where camera is not seeing it at all, because it doesn't make sense. But only that if I choose my camera right here and rotate the camera, let me show you, you will see where I rotate the camera, I will only have the assets there. Amazing tool that will help you a lot. And also you can make it narrow or wide, whatever you want. So I will not use that now, but also you can play with that. Also distance culling, so you can choose the distance and play with that. And also we have the distance scaling, and let me show this. Like, see, my viewport is already lagging. All right, we can play with things that are closer to the camera to be like smaller and or bigger, or just play with these settings here. And let's go with this all the way down. Maybe we want smaller parts here and bigger all the way there back, and so on and so forth. So I will close this and I will go back and make our plane. Come on, let's go to the top view. Smaller. I don't want this big forest. Okay, run forests, run like there. And yeah, let's lower the density a lot. Perfect. And now let's play with the seed, what we like. Maybe I like something like that. And also I can go to the scale. We can play with the global scale. I want this to be big. And also we can scale it individually. We can change the seed and so on and so forth. And also the rotation, which is self-explanatory. So random rotation around 360 degrees. You can lower it, by default is 360, or you can rotate on Y and X axis individually, however you want. That's it. This is the basic of how you spawn some assets. And also what is really nice is, for example, you don't like this tree, you want this tree, or no, it's the same tree, but you want maybe this tree, and you can just swap systems. So just swap it and come on, and now it's this. Beautiful, really easy. But I want this forest. Okay, so we have a forest. Let's see, like that. This is cool. And also I want to go here to transparent and load my sky to better see through the leaves and see what I'm doing. Maybe I need this a little bit bigger, like that. Let's see, something like that. All right, now this is one way how you can spawn the assets. Another way is to just place cursor wherever you want and go to the asset library and choose any of these trees. Let's use this one, and it will spawn the tree where your cursor is. So with this tree, we can make nice shadows here on the ground, something like this. Seems cool. Also, I will go with a few other trees, maybe one here, and let's see which one I like. Maybe this one. I like this one. All right, and with this one, I will just place it somewhere here, but I don't want to block the light of the monument too much. I want also this one to, by the way, I need a ground here, so let's make a big plane like that, and again add a color, dark one, and just because of the shadows I want to have ground here, and also I want to Shift D and put these trees. By the way, you can go and randomize the tree however you want, and I want to put them all around here. Let's see, maybe I want to put the tree here. No, maybe somewhere here, and maybe leave it like that. For now, this is okay. Now I can go and swap these assets for something else. Also, you can just minus it here. So basically delete it and swap for something else. I want these ones, for example. And yeah, nothing happens. Why nothing happens? Well, because let's see if I selected this as a plane. Yeah. So I want this. Oh, I swapped for nothing. So scatter the assets, and this is it. This is another one. So here I want to go to really low, something like just few of them. Okay, maybe I like these trees a little bit better. And let's see if I go to the scale and just scale on the Z, just that. Maybe this is a bit more interesting. Also, let's play with this. Okay, I will go with seed 0. This is okay. And now let's add some more assets. Actually, let me show you another cool trick that we can do with this monument. Select the monument. Let's go right here to tools and tool browser, and we have 4 different generators. So we have giant procedural wine tool. This is amazing. Then we have ivy generator that I will use right now, wine generator, and snow generator. So look at this magic. Just click import, and voila, we have some cool wine here around this monument. And we have some great options here, really easy. We can increase the wine count. We can make it like really low or grow it all the way to the top. We can include this part. If you select this and said add selected, it will go from down below to this as it's one object. Also, let's go. Also, we can play with the seed, whatever we like. We can increase leaf density or decrease leaf density, leaf scale, also wine radius if you want this to be thicker, but I like default value for this example. Also, let's go with wine count. I want this to be more dense around like that. This is really cool. Maybe 25, let's see. 25, right, and change the seed. This is really nice. And now we can also select these and import a tool there. So we have separate settings for this. Maybe this is too much. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, this is not bad. And also we can select this and say add to selection. Perfect. Let's see, wine count a little bit more. Maybe change the seed. Yeah, I like this here. Let's see. Yeah, this one is also cool. So you can see how simple and easy it is to add wine and change some settings and adapt to your scene, right? This is cool. Now let's add even more objects here. So I will go with the cursor here. Let's go up and find some plants or wait, let's hide this. Maybe, let's see, maybe I can add something simple here, maybe this one, import, and it will automatically import here. I think currently, let's do like that. Currently this is too small. Maybe I will go here. I can go also here and scale it right there, or I can just select it, press S, and regularly scale it like that. So let's leave it, this one there. Let's make this smaller. Also, I want to make a lot of things here on the floor and on the stairs and right there. So what we will do first, let's go with the floor first. So Shift S, cursor toward origin, top view. I want to make a plane. Plane will be something like that, and S and Y, and make it just the size of this floor, something like that. Perfect. And I want to scatter, want to make plane a little bit higher, like that. You can barely see this. And also, wow, I can hide the plane, and I can also hide it in render. But before I hide it, I just want to select this plane here in the emitter. So go with this, like plane. Perfect. And I want to go with debris and ground cover. So I want with this pine cover, and let's say scatter assets. And you will see we are not seeing much, so we need to go and play with the density. I didn't apply the scale, this is why it's huge. So yeah, like that. I want to have these on the ground, you can see. Maybe I will make the plane a little bit above everything, just like that. And now I can hide the plane, so plane will not be visible, only these assets. Maybe a little bit, oops, plane, maybe plane a little bit more down, like that. All right, and now I can play and scatter even more things here. So let's go and scatter maybe some moss, maybe this one, scatter. You will see again, we need to go with density. I want to add a lot of it. Maybe, let's see, yeah, this is cool. Also, let's hide this, and let's go with maybe this one. Scatter this and play with seed. Okay, this is not bad. We have a lot of this. And also I want to go with sticks and logs and maybe scatter these sticks. You will see in a moment. I want to also, we have these options here. Check out the sweeper video. You will see there are great options that you can do with this scatter. So many cool things and creative that I will not show here because it's not part of this tutorial. But let's see what I can do here. Let's scatter even more branches. Something like, oh, this is really big, not bad. Okay, this can be cool. Let's see, maybe the density less, like that. All right, and also what we can do, I can go with cursor here and maybe add manually one of these, maybe this one. Okay, and just go and move it here, maybe just to point to the monument, something like this, make it smaller. And that's cool. Also, now what I like to do is to scatter a few other things. So let's go with plants, and I want maybe this one or this one. Let's go with this one. Scatter this, and again go with the density up, and just play with some scatter options here. Let's see the scale. All right, so let's go and play with seeds. Yeah, this looks cool. This looks cool. can do something that we like and then add manually something that will cover parts that are not what we actually want and where we actually want thing to be. Maybe like that, and manually add, where it is, maybe this one, right? And let's see, I want to add one here closer to the camera, and another one, Alt D, maybe here, make it smaller, maybe here, and maybe randomize it a bit like that. So maybe randomize this one also, maybe a little bit smaller like that. And what else we can add here? We can add, like, from this part, maybe something like this one, why not? And just to have something like that here, and maybe make a copy and do some randomization just to be a little bit dense, and maybe just go and put another one somewhere here, make it smaller like that, just for fun. Also we can spawn some moss, where is it, like there. We can go with this, maybe. Let's scatter this and see how this looks. And yeah, I like this actually. Let's leave it like that, and you can play with this and do whatever you want. Also, let me show you how I populate these stairs with the thing. So let's select the stairs. Let's go and isolate it. So I don't want this. I just want the stairs, and /forward, just use them. Go to the edit view, and I want to go and select only the top portion of the stairs. Here we could use multi-emitter, but actually what I like to do, I did this, and then Shift D to duplicate, right? And then P to separate by selection. I will not do that because I already did this. And separate by selection, and just Control J all of these to have as a separate object. And this is stairs. I have it somewhere here. Yeah, it's right there. So it's this one. Let me show you. So it's that, just that. And now I will select this as an emitter. All right. So top of the stairs, and I will go right there, and I will scatter this, for example. So scatter assets, and let's go increase the density. And I also want to hide this at top of the stairs. Perfect. So let's increase the density. You can see how this looks really nice. And also we can maybe apply the, make it a little bit bigger. And also what we can do, we can go and scatter, let's see, let's these ones, for example, just for fun. And let's see about the density. Right, like that. Let's go with the scale like that, and perfect. Here we have really cool environment. Now let's go and let me show you something. If you want something more of these to make these denser, and how to access them, well, you need to go to the emitter here and just close this one, and then either here go and find what you use for this, or just go with this. And I remember that my plane is this one, and I will go right there, select my plane back, hide it, and Irish moss, for example, I want to select it and go right, not moss baby, maybe what I did, pine, yeah, these things. So I will go right there and make it more dense, right? And I have now more of that. If this is something that you want, this is how you can do it, right? This is perfect. Now let me show you how I play with the lights and shadows. So what I like to do, I like to add some trees here. So let's go right there, go to the trees. And I want California, this one, imported. and I want to rotate it like that, move it here. This will just use for blocking my lights like that, and I want to add some shadows here on the front of the monument, but not affecting monument too much, just like that. And also on the staircase here, and I will go with another copy of it, so another instance, Alt D, make it smaller. Maybe I want to go, I want to move it up, like something like that. I don't know, we'll see. And okay, it's right there. Maybe a little bit down. I want to block this a little bit, so we'll go right out of the frame and then a little bit up like that, and maybe scale it a little bit down. Right, this is before, this is after. I just want to block a little bit of the light there, not too much. Also, I want to add a little bit more light there, maybe like that. All right, so this is before, a lot of light, after a little bit of light. Also, I can go with this a little bit down just to have some shadows here. Perfect. And also a final touch, a little spice is, let's save this just in case. I will add a cube, make the cube big as this system. All right, let's see, something like that, and I will use it as, what do you think, as a volume. So I will go and delete this and go with volume, principal volume, or you can use just volume scatter. So volume to volume, and now this is too dense, 0.01 for example, and this looks cool, maybe 0.007, I don't know, let's see. This looks really interesting. I want maybe a little bit more greenish, yellowish tint, a little bit brighter. Okay, and also a cool trick is, first let's hide this cube. Let's display as bound. A cool trick, what I like to do, what I already did, is add it to area lights. So you can see this is one area light right there and another area light right there. So just to add some kind of a God rays here, and let's go to the volume, maybe 0.01. Yeah, and this looks really, really nice to emphasize everything in the scene. Also, what I like to do is to make this part a little bit darker. It's too bright for me. So there is a cool trick for that. What I like to do, I like to add a plane, right? Go right there. Actually go to the camera. Where is camera? Right above the camera. Okay, like that. I want to make plane bigger. All right, and then go to the edit mode, go to this edge and extrude it down. Just block this part right there. Don't worry about anything here. So now I want to make this black. Okay, it's already much better. And now I will rotate it, level it with the camera, and then G and move it. So see, this casts shadow right there, and I just want that to be something like this right there. So perfect. These are a few tricks that actually we are doing in photography, and blocking the lights to emphasize something that we want to put the accent on, like the monument and everything. We can do here a lot of other tweakings, but this is just me quickly making this second time, because when I did it first time it was obviously a little bit different, and you can see here this is the final version from my first time making it. I spent a little bit more time and a little bit more tweaking and so on and so forth, but these are the principles how I made the environment around this old monument and how I made the forest and everything that you saw in this video. By the way, the Arborea is an amazing plugin. You saw it, you saw the fraction of what it can do. If you want to check it out, full in-depth tutorial, check out the sweeper video. I will link it down there in the description, and also I will leave the link down there in the description for Superhive X Blender Market, where you can get Arborea if you're up to it. Link is affiliate, so I will get a small percentage from your purchase without affecting your purchase. So if you are up to it, check it out. And hope you like this video. Subscribe for more and see you in my next one. Bye bye.